In hip-hop, scandals come and go like the seasons. But every so often, a story emerges that stops everyone in their tracks. A story that doesn't just live in gossip blogs or on messy live streams but lands squarely in the halls of justice. And that's exactly what happened when Tiny Harris, wife of Atlanta rap legend T.I. and mother of King Harris, walked into court to give a formal statement about the mysterious disappearance of King's rumored boyfriend. Yes, you heard that right. The same Tiny we've seen on reality television, the same woman who has stood by her family through years of public ups and downs, found herself under oath, speaking on a case that has left fans shocked, confused, and demanding answers. Tonight we're breaking down what happened in court, what Tiny revealed, and how this case has spiraled into one of the most talked about mysteries surrounding the Harris family. The story begins with whispers online. A few weeks ago, scattered tweets and Instagram stories began suggesting that King Harris's close companion, rumored to be more than just a friend, referred to by many as his boyfriend, had gone missing. At first, people weren't sure whether to take it seriously. In hip-hop culture, gossip spreads fast, and not every rumor carries weight. But this was different. What started as speculation quickly turned into frantic conversations across social media platforms. King himself went live several times during those days, and though he never directly addressed the disappearance, his cryptic comments and erratic mood shifts fueled the idea that something was terribly wrong. He'd post a meme, then delete it. He'd go on a rant, then suddenly log off. Fans who know him best picked up on the change immediately, saying he looked stressed, distracted, and possibly even hiding something. Then, the bombshell dropped. A missing persons report was filed. Law enforcement confirmed that the young man, who had reportedly been close to King for months, had not been seen in days. That confirmation changed everything. It wasn't just gossip anymore. It wasn't just speculation. It was now a real case, a real investigation, and the Harris family, already no strangers to controversy, were caught in the middle of a storm that no one saw coming. And that's how we get to Tiny. Known in the entertainment world for her music career, her appearances on T.I., Tiny. The family hustle, and her often quiet but steady role in holding her family together, Tiny is not the person anyone expected to see walking into court. Yet, here she was, summoned to give a sworn statement in connection to the disappearance. According to sources close to the case, Tiny was one of the last family members to interact with King and his boyfriend together before the young man vanished. That alone made her testimony crucial. Witnesses at the courthouse described her as composed but visibly uneasy. She arrived surrounded by attorneys, with cameras flashing and reporters shouting questions she refused to answer. Once inside, under oath, Tiny reportedly gave a timeline of events. When she last saw King's boyfriend, how he was acting, and what she observed about King's behavior during those crucial final interactions. Insiders claim her statement was emotional, sometimes tearful, but steady, painting a picture of a mother caught between protecting her son and telling the truth about a case that could have serious consequences. And this is the detail that has people buzzing. While no official transcripts have been released, whispers from inside the courtroom say Tiny admitted there was tension, arguments, and possible red flags in the days leading up to the disappearance. If true, that could mean her testimony doesn't just provide context, it could shift the entire direction of the investigation. Tiny's testimony matters for a number of reasons. First, because she's one of the few people who has first-hand knowledge of what was happening inside the Harris household. For years, the family has lived under the microscope, with reality television cameras capturing their dynamics and social media amplifying every disagreement. But behind the glitz and the fame, there are real relationships, real conflicts, and in this case, real consequences. Tiny's statement could either protect King from suspicion or drag him deeper into the center of it all. And let's be honest, when you're part of a family as famous as the Harrises, there's no hiding. Every word you say under oath becomes headline material. Second, her involvement signals that investigators are not treating this as a minor incident. They're not brushing it off as gossip. They're pulling in people close to the situation, people whose words carry weight. If Tiny's in court, you can bet this case is being taken very seriously. Of course, this isn't happening in a vacuum. The Harris family is no stranger to public scrutiny. Over the years, T.I. and Tiny's marriage has been dissected by fans and critics alike. King Harris himself has become infamous for his outspoken personality, wild live streams, and heated exchanges with fans and critics online. Some see him as a rebellious young man growing up in the shadow of a legendary father. Others see him as reckless, spoiled, and unafraid of controversy. And now, with this disappearance linked to him so closely, all eyes are on the family once again. However, before we even unpack the courtroom testimony, let's set the stage. King Harris has always been known as one of the more outspoken members of the Harris family. From his social media antics to viral videos where he openly clashes with critics, and even with his own parents, King has never shied away from controversy. But behind all the bravado, the expensive jewelry, and the viral moments, there was something else brewing. In recent months, rumors began circulating online that King was in a serious relationship, a relationship that many people said wasn't exactly welcomed by everyone in his family. Whispers of tension started popping up on blogs and gossip sites, claiming that Tiny in particular was not supportive of the relationship. These were dismissed at first as just rumor mill nonsense, but then came the disappearance. Then came the court date. And finally, the testimony that changed everything. Eyewitnesses in the courtroom described the moment as surreal. King walked to the witness stand, his usual swagger replaced with a somber energy. He swore under oath, sat down, and when asked to recount what he knew about his boyfriend's disappearance, he did not hold back. According to multiple accounts, King spoke slowly at first, as if weighing every word, but then his voice grew steadier. And then, like a bomb dropped in the middle of the room, he pointed the finger directly at his mother. In his testimony, King alleged that Tiny was the one who disapproved of his relationship the most. He claimed she went from heated arguments at home to subtle threats, and then, ultimately, to action. He told the court that she reached out to men she trusted, people with street ties, people who knew how to handle intimidation, and that she ordered them to make his boyfriend disappear. In King's words, this wasn't just about a family disagreement. It was about control, reputation, and power. And according to him, Tiny crossed every imaginable line to get her way. Imagine sitting in that courtroom, reporters scribbling furiously, attorneys whispering, cameras clicking, and then suddenly hearing a son accuse his mother of kidnapping. Witnesses say the judge himself had to call the room back to order multiple times, as people gasped, shifted in their seats, and tried to process what they had just heard. Some described the energy as tense and suffocating, like everyone in the room understood they had just crossed into uncharted territory. Family members who were present looked stunned. Supporters of the Harris family, who had come thinking this would be a routine hearing, were left shaking their heads. It wasn't just testimony, it was a fracture. A break in the illusion of unity the family had often tried to portray in public. And once those words were spoken, there was no taking them back. So why would Tiny, of all people, allegedly go this far? In King's version of the story, her disapproval of his boyfriend wasn't just casual dislike. It wasn't just a parent disagreeing with a child's choice. He claimed it was deeper, that Tiny felt this relationship would stain the family's reputation, that it would distract from the family brand, and that it would weaken the carefully curated image of success and influence that the Harrises had built over decades. King insisted that his boyfriend was being targeted not because of who he was as a person, but because of what he represented in Tiny's eyes: independence, rebellion, and a challenge to her authority. He alleged that arguments between them had escalated so badly that threats were made, warnings were issued, and finally, action was taken. And when his boyfriend went missing, King told the court he knew exactly who was responsible. The disappearance itself remains the most chilling piece of the puzzle. King described the last time he saw his boyfriend, recounting details with a mix of anger and sorrow. He told the court that his partner had mentioned feeling like he was being followed, watched, and even stalked in the days leading up to his disappearance. Friends of the missing young man reportedly confirmed that he had expressed fear, even paranoia, about certain cars tailing him and strange phone calls he couldn't explain. And then silence. No phone calls, no texts, no sightings, nothing. The young man had seemingly vanished into thin air. For King, this wasn't coincidence. It wasn't bad luck. It was exactly what he feared: a targeted, deliberate act carried out by people with power and connections. And in that courtroom, he